On Saturday, April 3rd, World Superbike Rider and former Moto GP rider James Toseland was the special guest at Bridge Motorcycles in Exeter, Devon.
I found out, obviously, it is the pinnacle of racing. It was an honour to be there in MotoGP and to work hard through all my career to actually get there, and then to nearly qualify on pole position in my very first one, ahead of Valentino Rossi and the likes, was a dream come true, and I nearly beat him in my first race, then Australia as well, challenging him, passing him twice, and the whole experience was great, and I was bitterly disappointed that I lost the opportunity. Last year was a difficult year for me and Colin. We had the 08 engine in 09, and having that disadvantage was a massive thing in MotoGP, because there is no slow riders and there is no slow bikes.
You're in a very dominant position at one stage. You go back into World Superbike and it's just as tough arena as you left.
Yeah, I mean, all the youngsters there now, there's 7 British lads, all doing very well. Johnny Ray and Carl Crutchlow, my teammates, on the podium in Portugal, obviously. They're going great, and it's great for the country. I'll be up there with them, battling with them, hopefully next weekend. I think there's a bit of vendettas between a few of the riders with the comments after the racing between Johnny and Carl, but I know that story, so I can see why the racing is going to be great this year between those two especially, and it's great to be amongst them. Obviously I'm still, at the moment classed as the British #1, so I need to go out there and prove that, and as I say, with Valencia as a track I know, and the injury getting sorted out, I'm looking forward to bringing some trophies home.
You say British youngsters, but to us, you're just a youngster. I mean, you could be back in MotoGP. You've got many years of racing ahead of you, and you're just getting better and faster as you get more experienced.
Yeah, I think that's it with anything. The more practice that you have, I mean, that's all my career has been based on. I wasn't born into racing, and my stepdad bought me a motorcycle, and at 9 years old, and I just loved it. I had a natural talent for it, and it was just practice and dedication that's got me to where I am now. That's all I've ever done, is ride motorcycles. So going from playing one of these to riding motorcycles. So if I can do it, then pretty much anybody can.
On that note, actually, I mean, a lot of enthusiastic motorcyclists and families down here, maybe some of the kids in the audience will be thinking to themselves they might like to get involved in the sport. How would you recommend to any young people in our Bridge audience today? How would you start out if you wanted to follow your footsteps?
Well, these lads I'm looking at here, I didn't even know what a motorcycle was at their age. I was studying the piano. I lived with my gran. With me, my brother and my mum, we lived with my grandparents, and my gran plays the piano, so she taught me to play, and then my mum met a new boyfriend when I was 9 years old who had a motorcycle, and that's who got me interested in this great sport, and luckily, I don't know how, but I had a natural talent at it, and it was certainly a lot cooler than piano playing when I was 10 years old. So I got a fair few new friends at school for getting a motorbike for Christmas, and that's where the interest came from. That, as well as everything else, it's just practice. If your parents have the time and the money, it's not cheap. We didn't have a lot of money at all as a family, and if I hadn't have gone professional at 16 when I did, then I think the pot had run out, and I possibly wouldn't have had a career at it. But if the parents are willing to give their weekends up for the kids and take them out and actually just get them riding, that's the main thing.
You started with motocross yourself, right? Schoolboy motocross, and then went to road racing?
I did 4 years of trials riding first, and that's obviously the skill and the control of a motorcycle, and then I went on to 2 years of motocross riding, and then as a 12-year-old I was a bit of a runt. I was a bit short, and so the motocross bikes were really high for me, so I looked on the TV and I saw Capirossi and the likes. They were built like jockeys, so I thought that was the game for me, and that's why I changed to road racing.
Okay, what about in terms of the bikes you're now riding? Because a lot of these guys out in the audience and the girls will be riding sports bikes. And the thing we like about superbikes is they're more, we would see them as closer to the bikes we ride on the road. I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's got closer and closer. You can buy a standard R1 now with, 160, 170 brake horsepower out of the box. I mean, you can't use much more than that on the tracks these days, and especially the roads. And it's just incredible the development that we do on the tracks with the traction control, anti-wheelie, everything that's slowly coming onto the road bikes to make it safer, or as safe as possible for you guys on the road. And it's amazing what you can buy now as far as performance goes.
And what about horsepower when you're in the MotoGP? I mean, give us an idea, because that seems like another world to me. The MotoGP seems like Formula One. I mean, we've got it at Silverstone for the first time effectively in 20 years, I suppose, since Barry Sheen's days. And when I hear those bikes and see them, they are prototypes, aren't they?
They're just like a souped-up Nova, to be fair. They're just loud. They just haven't got an exhaust on them, so with the sound of them, they sound much faster than a production bike, superbike. But they're not. You know, the 1000cc superbike compared to an 800cc GP bike, the acceleration or the torque of a superbike is more than a MotoGP bike. But with the weight of a GP bike, which is about 20 kilograms less than a superbike, and the revs, because mine revs to about 14 and the GP revved to, well, about 15 now, but the GP bike revved to 19,000 revs. So with the revs and the less weight, the top speed of a MotoGP bike with the engine technology is faster at top speed, but that's just really aerodynamics and weight of the bike.
We've always had excess stock which I can't fit into the showroom. Basically, we've opened the warehouse up so new stock is more accessible to the public. So, you know, there's more bikes to see.